realities. Thank you so much for that. So we're talking about why many marriages feel different abroad. Financial realities. So if in Nigeria, uh, you were working and maybe at the end of the month you give your family something, your wife gives her family something. When you travel abroad, we already have a mindset in Nigeria that once you cross the border, there's plenty money where you are going to, especially if you earn in dollars or pounds. There's how this dollar mentality. There are people in Nigeria already changing, they are changing the currency for you. So they don't even know how much you earn, but the pressure just sets in that because I am earning in a foreign currency, it means I am earning higher than what I was earning in Nigeria, because Nigerian people are already converting it for you. And so you have to send more. And so it makes us pick up different shifts, which brings us to work and survival pressure. When I speak to my friends abroad, almost all of them are working 2 shifts, 3 shifts, or 2, 3 jobs. You work here 6 hours, you go to the next job, you work 4 hours, go to the other one, you work 2, 3 hours. Let me understand why, when you come back home, you are expected to be the same. You can't be the same. And if you're a wife that was an Odogu husband here, Odogu wife, sorry, here in Nigeria, and then you people move abroad, you are going to start working too, because the financial realities have changed, and it's going to tell on the marriage. It is. Now there's cultural adjustment. So if everybody moves with train, I have a friend in Canada that from her house to her workplace, she must drive and park her car somewhere and then take train. And in Nigeria, we are used to just driving off, go to anywhere you are going to. And in Nigeria, we are very lawless. You drive anywhere, you park anywhere you like. When you go there, you are already trying to adjust your mind. You are hearing that you can't park anyhow, or you have to do this, you have to do that. They have do's and don'ts, rules and regulations that you must follow. That is their culture. Now, adjusting that alone, imagine driving somewhere and they pull you over because you missed it. First of all, you must go through the driving test, right? That alone. If you are used to driving in Nigeria, some people have had to take their driving test 3, 4 times before they pass. That is mentally draining. That is stressful. And who receives it is the person at home. So there must be changes when you relocate. When people relocate, they just think about the money. I'm going to start earning in dollars. Once I travel to Canada, once I travel to the US, I start earning in dollars. They're already converting it. $1 to 1 naira is 1.6 or one. If I earn $500, this is how much it's going to give. That's all we think about. Most people don't take their time to plan how this marriage will work, because, of course, most people don't even know. It's going to shift. Now we have parenting without support systems. I was saying earlier that while at home, you want to have your quiet time, you can just carry the kids to maybe your sister's house and drop and say, please help me look after them. I have things to do. I have work to attend to. Or you want to have time with your spouse, we have support system, we have community, we have a whole village that can help us parent these children. But when you go there, everything is paid for. In Nigeria here, you just say, I'm looking for somebody, or somebody say, there's one girl, I don't want her to stay in the village, you can let her come and stay with you. Just feed her, clothe her, or maybe find the parents, small thing. You have someone to help you out. But over there, to get a nanny, everybody here knows what I'm talking about. You pay through your nose. You pay for everything. I have someone that said when you travel abroad, the only thing they don't even charge you for is the oxygen that you breathe. You pay for everything. So parenting without support system, you are already drained, because when you think about how much you are earning, how you're going to pay for light, you're going to pay for the house you're staying, you're paying for your car park, you're paying for this. Where is the money you want to use to get someone to help you? And children will always be children. Sometimes they throw tantrums. You are already overwhelmed, and you're pouring it out on each other. It's the marriage that is suffering. They say when two elephants, it's the marriage that is suffering, because you're trying to parent while picking up shifts. You're trying to parent while picking up shifts. It's going to affect the marriage. The marriage must feel different. Now there's emotional isolation. Now let me talk about this picking up shifts and how it affects the marriage. Like narrowing it down to emotional isolation. So imagine that the husband is working, he resumes work at 7 a.m. to, let's say, 12 noon, and the wife has to resume work by 12 noon. Maybe you are just um, crossing each other on the road. Hello, hi, I'm going home now. This one is saying I'm going to work. Where is the time for intimacy? You don't talk, no gist, no. All we are thinking about is work, work, work. Money, money, money. That is all. All of these things are what can make a marriage feel different. All of this. To cultural adjustments, parenting without support, emotional isolation. And because women and men are wired differently, to a woman, she's have time for me. You see what I am stressed. Can you just understand? But because women think with their hearts, men think with their head. Men are logical thinkers. So a man thinks one way. Let's just do this. We have a target. Let's do this. Let's get this straight, straight, straight. The woman is saying, even if you are doing all that, can't you see me here? I'm still here now. You're not talking to me. That's how we are wired. So this there's this conflict already. So a marriage that worked well in Nigeria can feel stretched abroad. And that's not because your husband does not love you anymore, or your wife does not love you anymore, or your wife is being insensitive. No, she's not being insensitive. And your husband doesn't love you any less. The pressure is just different. We're trying to adjust. Even if you have been there for 3, 4, 5, 10 years, it doesn't change how their culture is. You still have to follow through. Okay? So I want us to take a quick look at this reflection. Before we go deeper, I want everyone here to pause for a moment. Just reflect honestly. Ask yourself, since I relocated abroad, which of these areas have changed the most in my marriage? Has it been communication? Has it been financial pressure? Has it been emotional closeness? Or maybe the expectations you have of each other? Just take a moment and think about that. If you are sitting with your husband or your wife, you can turn to him or her and say something. Tell the person which of these things have changed the most in your marriage. Talk to your spouse. This is a practical, this is a practical class. I'm not just here to lecture or blame anybody, like I said. Let us have a conversation. Let us know where we are missing it. Because without awareness, there's nothing to repair. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to work on. You have to be aware first. Are you feeling neglected? Which of these areas have changed? I need you to reflect. You'll be surprised how powerful this small reflection can be. Yeah, because sometimes some couples face the same pressure, but because they don't talk about it, they don't even know what the next person is going through. This person just feels, oh, you should understand. The other person feels, oh, you should understand. When we are not spirits, how do we know what's going on inside if we don't talk? So have that quick reflection. If you can write it down, if your spouse is not with you, you can write it down. And then when you're with him or her, you can ask that question. Just reflect. Which brings us down to the first thing we are talking about today. Expectations versus reality. One of the biggest challenges many couples face after relocation is something I call the expectation gap. Yes, expectation gap. So before relocation, like I was saying earlier, many couples imagine what life abroad would look like. What will life abroad look like? So maybe you have seen so many movies, you are seeing walking in the snow, all those serenities. And then when you land, it's something completely different. So there's an expectation gap. So let me say for the for the spouse who was abroad first, might have gotten a hang of how the life is there, how their culture works, and is already trying to navigate. So this thing hits more on the person who is joining. So if it's the husband that is already there, the wife who is joining, there's an emotional shock first because your expectation is completely different from real life. What you were thinking is not what you are seeing there. Maybe what you expected is an all-white apartment, the children's room, my room, there's a walk-in closet and all of those big dreams. But when you get there, the apartment is smaller. You're already not seeing your dream. The financial pressure becomes heavier than anticipated. Because, yeah, I've been here working, now you're here. More mouths to feed. You too have to pick up jobs. So if it is mostly, not all the time, it is most times, it is the wife that joins the husband. And so she might be feeling like arriving as a princess, I'll just be there taking care of the kids. After all, we are now earning in dollars and all of that. But my dear lady, you have to pick a job because the financial pressure increases. Remember, there are people back home waiting for that dollars that you are earning or the euro that you are earning for those of us here. They're already converting it. This money is like this or it's like that. And you know how our people here are because of the kind of mentality that we have, because of the kind of how we grew up, our environment, our economy is well, you know. So everyone is looking for where to get from. And their family, you have to send them money. And so the expectation and the reality, they're like this. Now, when those expectations are not met, you are now seeing the different lifestyle, disappointment setting. This is not what I thought. Ah, is this the abroad? Or everything I've been thinking, is this what it is? You are seeing something different. And so you get disappointed. And so for some women who love to have family meeting, talk about things. Oh, this is not what you are not here for me. You are not giving me time and all of that. And the man is saying, can't you understand? Can't you see what's up? No, silent resentment setting. And I'm saying this because it is, like I said, we women, we think with our hearts. We are emotional beings. So no matter how horrible or chaotic a man's day is, a woman wants him to come home and tell her, my day was chaotic. But men don't know how to pour their problems on others. Most men, African men, were trained to shoulder responsibilities. And that's what most people don't know, that men go through pressure. Men, they are the most wounded beings. Because women are expressive, we feel, we'll talk about it. When a woman is talking, I'm going through this, you'll be like, this woman is going through a lot. Do you know what a man goes through? Men go through hell, trying to meet up, trying to shoulder responsibilities, and not all men are expressive. So you see, silent resentment. The woman begins to think that, what's going on here? This is not how I thought about it. But healthy couples learn how to reset expectations without blame. If you don't talk about it, it is dangerous. That disappointment you're feeling, if it is not spoken about, both the man and the woman come to have a healthy conversation without blame. Because what we are going through here is nobody's fault. It's change of environment. It's the different kind of pressure that we are receiving. So what you expect, that's not what you are getting. It's nobody's fault, right? So if we can come together to address the issue and not fight each other, that is a good place to start. That is a good place to start. So healthy couples learn something very important. This is what I'm talking about, to talk about it, to sit down together without blame, without pointing fingers. How do we address this? This is what I expected, but that's not what I'm seeing. Okay, this environment is different from what we imagined. Let's just adjust our expectations and support each other rather than fighting about the unspoken expectations and giving silent treatments and arguing over unnecessary things that we should calm down and talk about. We begin to argue over it because there's something inside that we're expecting. We're feeling disappointed. And then we can no longer see eye to eye. It's the country you went to that is the problem. It's not your husband, it's not your wife. And that is why most times when I have sessions with couples who are preparing for relocation, there's a package we give them. We have to reset their mind. Talk about, do some people just go to this country, they say this type of my job is thriving there, and so you just pack your bag and go there. No. You make good research about where you are going to. Is this a good living condition for us? Are we going to thrive here as a couple? Now, it's not just about the job, because job will come and go, but the both of you will remain together. And if your marriage is having all of this, it's the children that will get affected for those that have children already. I am a product of a broken home. Will I really say broken home? Because my parents were never really married. They were just boyfriend and girlfriend, fornicating here and there, and they had me and my sister. And that relationship didn't lead to marriage. But I know what I went through growing up as a child. I can't even be sharing my story here. So imagine your marriage falling apart. Your children are going to be a mess. And that's not what we want. Of course, that is why we are here, right? So healthy couples have healthy conversations about these unmet expectations, or this expectation that we imagined when we relocate is going to be like this, is going to be like that. This conversation is going to remove a lot of pressure from your marriage. If we calm down to talk about it, how do we move forward? What next? Okay, this is what we thought it was going to be. Now we're here. It's something different. What next? We should be solution driven. We should not dwell on the problem. Oh, this man is not like this. Oh, this woman is not like this. What is the way forward? That's the only way we can move. Okay? So now we are going to be talking about financial pressure and survival mode. You see, I decided to talk about expectation first. That is the beginning. That is the primary place. Before we got here, what did we have in our head? Now we are here, there is financial pressure, long working hours. We are picking up different jobs because we have to meet needs. In Nigeria, once you pay your house rent, nobody is paying for parking space. If you're using prepaid meter over here in Nigeria, if you put 10,000 naira in your prepaid meter, any day the thing finishes, nobody's coming to knock at your door. Nobody is sending you email. Oh, you must pay your light bill, pay mortgage, pay this and pay that. Nigeria is so lawless. Once you pay for your house rent, you are good. Anywhere you like, you park. Anything you like, you do with yourself. But over there, a lot of things to pay for. So you need more money than what you were thinking that you would need when you were in Nigeria. Because in Nigeria, you're converting, to naira. If I can be earning 3 million naira every month or 5 million naira every month, I'm a big boy. Over there, you're not a big boy. You're not a big girl because you have a lot to pay for. And so the both of you have to take up jobs. Now there's long working hours. Some persons are working 8 hours, first job. Maybe there's 1 hour break in between. and then you are picking up the second job. Again, husband is doing that, the wife is also doing that. There's dual income pressure. The pressure of, I'm not the only person to bring anymore. I will bring you till you bring. And you are thinking, I have things to do with this money. How much will I bring? You know, money arguments. Financial responsibilities back home. Everybody back home, they are waiting for your euro to convert it and send back to them. Now, because of this pressure, there's reduced, in fact, little to no time for emotional connection at all. No time. And for those that have children, of course, because of the long working hours, you are still going to pay for child care, right? That's what they call it over there. You're still going to pay for that. And that's a real job. It's not like here that you pay peanuts. We pay peanuts for that. Over there, you're paying someone well. Thank God that I had mentioned this earlier. Let me say this again. African men were raised to shoulder responsibilities. African men were raised. In fact, it is mostly Igbo men. That is why they thrive anywhere they go. And I love that about them. Anywhere an Igbo man enters, he must multiply whatever was in his hands. Make good money. Everybody wants to marry an Igbo man because who doesn't want to be an Asa Udogu? Because the man is working, shouldering responsibilities, swallowing his emotions, shutting down his pain, covering up his wounds, just to meet up, just to be able to carry out these responsibilities. Sorry. Which is not healthy. It's a good thing, of course, for people at the receiving end. It is not healthy. From a young age, you are taught that a man must provide. You are a man, be a man. A man cannot cry. A man cannot express his emotions. A man cannot speak, cannot talk about his feelings. What are you feeling? My friend, go out and make money. Go and serve and learn this trade. A man must solve problems. A man must protect his family. Those values are powerful, yes. They create strong men. Sometimes they create men who feel they must carry pressure. There are some Igbo men that don't want their wives to work over here in Nigeria. Don't work, I can do everything. You provide for her family, you provide for her, you provide for your own family, you provide for yourself. You know, you just do everybody who's really pouring into you. Now, when this man becomes pressured like this, what happens? They are taking up long working hours over there, of course, extra shifts, more responsibilities, more sacrifices, you know. And from his perspective, he's protecting his family, of course. He's protecting his family. But from your wife's perspective, something is also happening. What is that thing that's happening? She's feeling emotionally disconnected. She's feeling like you have replaced her with work. That's why I said women feel from their hearts. Men are not. So when a man picks up extra shifts, what he's thinking is family first. I need my wife and kids to be okay. People at home, everybody should just be okay, okay, okay. But a woman needs more than that. She needs to be felt. She needs to also feel you. She doesn't just want to be provided for. Right? Of course, the both of you have good intentions. Both the husband and the wife, they have great intentions for each other. But emotional connection slowly is to weaken. It drops. That spark that was there earlier on, maybe in the marriage or when you were in Nigeria, is beginning to fade away. That is what I call surviving. Because now we are just most people are just flatmates. So we are co-parenting together. We are just here, working and working and working and bringing. There's no emotional connection. And what is marriage without emotional connection? Emotional intimacy. Intimacy is not just sex. It's emotional. There's even spiritual intimacy, but we are not going into that. What is marriage without emotional intimacy? I can't feel my husband. I don't know what's going on. Everything is not about money. You see, this is what the pressure of shouldering responsibility. This is the pressure it comes with. So instead of carrying financial pressure alone, can we talk about money openly? I'm not here to tell you not to give to the people abroad, but there's something called planning. When it comes to finances, I love to tell couples that money is a tool that we use to achieve what we want to achieve. Money is not the main thing. Money is not the main thing. Money is a tool, is a means to an end. So when it comes to financial pressure, when it comes to money, finances, let us sit together and plan. I've had to help a couple draw out their financial plan before. These ones are not even abroad. They're always having issues about money. So sometimes I even want to ask, is it really about the money? There's a fear. There's something. It's not just about money. So for the man, it can be the fear of being seen as a failure. If I'm not able to meet up the needs of others, will I not be seen as a failure? How will people see me? What will they think of me? Because, of course, how we are brought up, you must tend to everybody, give everybody what they need. So when you feel like you're not meeting up, it's messing up with your mind. We can draw a plan. Husband and wife. We are a team. One. That's what the Bible said. I'm sure everybody here is a Christian. I'm a pastor's wife. I didn't want to mention that earlier. Before these people would think I came here to preach. I'm not here to preach. But what did the Bible say about husband and wife? You live to cleave. When you cleave, it's like this. You are supposed to be inseparable and you become one. So why should I hide my finances from you? You see this common narrative. His money is our money. My money is my money. I don't subscribe to that. I don't. Because why are you separating yourself now from him? They asked someone a while ago, I was watching an interview, and they asked the lady, what do you think about 50-50? Husband bring 50, 50, wife bring 50. That's a sorting of bills, of course. At home, want to pay the rent. If the rent is 3 million, the wife should bring 1.5, the husband should bring 1.5. And I love how she answered that question. She said, why do we have to do 50-50? Since when did we become separate beings? I bring 100, you bring 100. Now, when we are talking about bringing 100, it's not that this year or this month, if you pay rent monthly, this month I'm the one that's going to pay 100 next month. No. What area can you fit in? Do it. Carry the responsibility. Who said that is a man that must do everything? This is why many men are under serious pressure of meeting up. Money is a tool. So if you are constantly having money issues, then there's something underneath. Does your husband know how much you earn? Does your wife know how much you earn? Your wife does not know how much is your complete salary. Why? My question is always why. When I have sessions like this, I say I don't even know. He doesn't tell me anything about money. He doesn't tell me anything about money. He doesn't say how much. I don't know how much he earns. My question is always why. The why is very important. If we don't know the why, we can't address it. So sometimes I hear things like, if I tell my wife how much I earn, the billing will not end.
About this box.
I'm sorry, please. Can someone mute? Okay, thank you so much. So why can't you share? There's something. It can be financial trauma. Yes, it can be financial trauma. Were you vulnerable when it came to finances and you were attacked for it? You will just shut up when it comes to money. You don't want to speak. You don't want to let someone know how much you earn. And for the wife, I will ask that particular couple, I asked why. And the man told me that if I tell my wife how much I earn, I will have nothing for myself. She will make sure that she sucks me dry. And I'm wondering why. When we traced it down, this lady grew up in a home where her father did not give her more than anything. So she told herself, no man will treat her that way. No, me. I must make sure that I suck everything from him. Trauma. Trauma. Trauma will expose you. Yes, you won't hide. You can't hide because there are triggers. So can you make financial decisions together? If you are scared of making financial decisions together, are you having commitment issues when it comes to money? There's an underlying issue there. There's something wrong there. You cannot sit down and plan. If I am earning 1,000 euro and my husband is earning 1,000 euro, for example, we should have something called money boundaries. We're not trying to please anybody. Yes, we're not trying to please the people back home. Some of us are trying to please the people back home and we carry everything. Some people are complaining. Everything is sending home. We are not seeing anything yet. Maybe one person's money we are using to run here, another person's money is going back home. Why? I'm not saying don't give people back home money, but there should be a line. You should draw the line. How much are we giving? They should not call you every oh, this person don't sick, oh, and then you are killing yourself in the process. You, when you sick, who attends to you? Now you know they sick. You understand what I'm saying? There should be a line when it comes to finances. How much? Look at your budget, and nobody should have a new cook. What kind of apartment suits us at this level? We get the apartment. We pay our bills. How much are we sending back home? If we are going to be sending money every quarter, yes, we send money only every quarter. It must not be every month. You have a life. Your marriage will not, if your marriage crashes, everybody will be all right. The people you've been carrying on your shoulders, everybody will be fine, except you. So let us sit with our spouses and have an honest conversation about money. If you cannot have that conversation, then there's a problem. You need to, you and I need to talk. For as many that cannot have an honest conversation about money, you are hiding, then there's a problem. Yes, there is. Let us cut down. Tell yourself the truth. We can't meet up. Oh, let's know how we're going to draw the line so that we learn to talk about money openly with your spouse. If you cannot, then reach out to me. Reach out to me for a private session. Yes, you need to learn how to approach challenges as a team and not as an opponent. It is both of you against the world, not the challenge or the world against you. Or both of you are against each other. No, it's you and your spouse against every other challenge, against everybody. The both of you come first, even before the children. Women don't like to hear this part. Oh, my children. Oh, my children. No, it is your husband first before your children. Yes. And for the men, it is your wives first. I'm not, of course, I have children. I have two children, a boy and a girl. And I love my children. But that is where the healthy boundaries come. I know the time I'm spending with my kids. I know the quality time I give to my husband. And you know, my husband is a pastor. I don't want all these small, small girls touch to look at it. So I have to be prime and proper. That's on a lighter note anyway. Okay. So, like I said, we should have financial conversations with our spouses. As a team, know that it is me and you against this money. It is me and you against every other thing when it comes to money. Now we are going to be addressing communication breakdown under stress. Everybody here will agree with me that we are stressed. Are we stressed? Someone should turn on his or her mic. Let me know that I'm talking to people, please.
You are talking not to us ever. I will put you ever.
Uh-huh.
We
Thank you.
hear you.
All right. Thank you so much. We are all stressed. One of the first things that stress affects in marriage is communication. That is one of the first things that stress will attack in your home. Before the stress will start attacking your body and all that, it has already attacked communication first. Because the truth is, when people are under pressure, when people are stressed, their patience reduces. Your patience level will drop. Your tone will change. You start reacting fast. Every little thing you want to shut down, you want to shut someone up, you just want to, react almost aggressively because stress. So a simple question, you just feel like they're criticizing you. So let's just imagine for the men, your wife is asking you, you just came back and your wife, because of stress, your wife is asking you, there's no light though. I thought you said you pay for the light bill. Do you know what the men are already seeing from this question? I'm not doing enough. Why should she be asking me? Have I not been paying for the lights? Only this one day that light went out, she's already asking me. Because of stress, you're already interpreting it. Your brain is just on fight or flight mode. Excuse me. That is where you are. Fight or flight mode. You just want to attack every little thing. Every little thing. No, don't talk to me like that. And every small disagreement will now become a heated argument. There's bass for both. Communication is the first thing that stress has. And sometimes we now begin to feel like, oh, my husband does not love me anymore. Oh, I don't think this woman loves me anymore. You still love each other. Love does not cancel out arguments. Love does not cancel out pain and all that. But the stress that is the underlying factor is not that your spouse doesn't love you. That is why we need practical communication tools. We need to learn how to express our needs without accusations. We need to learn how to pause when our emotions are rising. Men are good at this. When there's an argument, most men, they don't want to talk back. You just see a man walk away. And women, we like talk. Well, I'm still talking. You're walking out on me. The man is only trying to protect you at that moment. Because men are wired as hunters. When they feel attacked, they want to defend. Once you come at them, they feel attacked, they want to. So most men will just walk away, and the woman will feel like, oh, he doesn't even want to talk. He doesn't want to talk to me. We can come back to that conversation later. So for a woman, when you feel like your emotions are rising, pause and calm down. The breathing work helps a lot. Just breathe in and out very well and relax. Let us come back to that conversation when we are calmer. Because if you try to have that conversation at that time, my brothers and sisters, it won't work. It won't work. And that's when we now begin to say things that we are not supposed to say. And words are like eggs. When they are spoken, can they really be retracted? No. You always say, oh, I'm sorry for saying what I said that day. And if the person you are talking to is a sensitive thinker, the person just feels like, oh, this is what this person has been carrying in mind for a while. You just needed this opportunity to talk about it. Communication is a skill that is taught, that is learned. But unfortunately, on this part of the world, we were never really taught those skills growing up. To some persons, they just shut down. To some persons, they just blow out. Two sides of the extreme. We find it difficult to be at the middle. Why can't we calm down and have a conversation? So when your emotions are rising, you can calmly tell your husband or your wife, I need time to process this, or I just need time to calm down. And the next person should be able to give the other spouse time to calm down. If we want to really get to the roots of whatever is causing issues. But it is stress. We are all stressed. Stress abroad is bigger than the stress in Nigeria. The only stress we are facing is our government. Oh, Tinubu do this. Oh, Tinubu did that. When we see things on social media. Oh, this, no money, no money. But we are living life. But the kind of stress over there, knowing that you don't have a community, you know, your family members are not there, no help, it's just a lot. And you can't really do anything because that's a different system. You must abide by their rules, whether you are tired or not. If you are tired, then you come back home. So the stress is there. How do we navigate it without losing ourselves? We need to learn the skill of communication. Express without accusation. Have your conversations without letting your emotions arise. Or walking away when you feel like your emotions are rising so that it doesn't blow out of proportion. We should also learn how to repair conversations after conflict, because conflict must happen in marriage. In fact, a marriage without conflict is not a healthy marriage. Yes. A marriage without conflict is not a healthy marriage. It means that one person does not have perspective. Because what really causes conflict is perspective. I'm thinking about this in a different way. You are thinking about this in a different way. But we can come together. We can disagree to agree, right? We can come together and share our both perspective and come to the middle ground. So conflicts are healthy in marriage. But how we handle it during and after the conflict will tell on our marriages. So we need to learn this skill. Learn the skill of communication. When we learn the skill of communication, the atmosphere in the home will change significantly. I have been married for 8 years now, and I can tell you for a fact, the first few years of my marriage, you see, this communication thing was a problem. Because I didn't know that I was going to be a pastor's wife. I didn't know that I was going to get married to. Of course, nobody knows who they will marry, right? Like prior. But then I got married to a pastor, and expectation comes to play again. It's not what I was, kind of lifestyle, it's not what I was expecting. And then my husband can go out, go to church, stay long hours, and I'm at home, come back home. I started feeling left out. Initially, because of my own childhood trauma, I didn't know how to communicate. My own coping mechanism was to shut down. I just started giving the silent treatment. I'm sure many people are like that. I just started giving, babe, what's wrong? Nothing. Why are you? Nothing. Everything they ask me, nothing. But there's something. Why not just talk about what it is? I was stressed emotionally, not necessarily physically. But we over there now, we are stressed both emotionally, physically, mentally, and every. But then I didn't know how to communicate. And we used to have issues all the time. And when I finally want to talk about what it's, I would have piled up from maybe 2 months ago. This one happened. And I'm very good with dates. My case was very bad. Because I would tell my husband on so day, this was what I did. This was what you did. You now said this. Me, I now said this. I'm even telling the color of shirt that he was wearing. You were wearing one brown shirt that day that you said this. When you said it, you did your hand like this. I was like that because of my trauma. And then it took me years to be where I am today. How many times in my marriage almost scattered because of my own coconut head, because of where I was coming from. So I can tell you for a fact, communication is a skill that must be learned. Communication. And without EI, that's emotional intelligence, see, there's a lot to learn when it comes to marriage. Marriage is not just, I love you, and then we come together, we say we must marry. Oh, she has fine shape, figure eight. Ah, the man's pocket is fat. Tall, dark, and handsome, broad chest, pink lips. He's my spec. Marriage is beyond spec. Marriage is beyond spec. Marriage is a service. And when you see it as that, things can change. Know that you are in this marriage to serve somebody. So when you see it that, I'm talking to both the men and the women. When a man sees that I am here to serve, you would put your spouse before yourself. And when a woman sees it that she's here to serve, I'm seeing some chats. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Marriage is a service. You see that inside this institution, at all. And it's like you are not receiving all over. Even if the Bible says men should look like that, women should see. At least the man is the head of the home. And men on the scale, right? Aside from having love language, the man people that I am going to serve. We are a team. Let us imagine a football team right now.
Hello. Hello. Excuse me. I don't know whether it's only from my side. I can't hear you anymore.
Same here. I can't hear her.
Yeah, me too. I can't
Mine.
hear you clearly. Yeah. You check your
Oh,
mic, maybe.
Okay,
Yeah,
your voice is out now.
Is it out now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, it's okay
Oh
now.
my God. I'm so sorry about that, please. I'm so sorry. It's better now, right?
We lost it again.
I think it's off again. You check your connection to the mic.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
it's back.
okay. All right. Thank you. So I was saying that marriage is a service. So let us look at a football team, for example. Everybody on the pitch in a particular team, we have the attackers, we have the wingers, we have the midfield, and then we have the defense. Everybody is there to serve for one common goal. What is the common goal? To earn 3 points. No matter the goal we are, how many number of goals we are scoring, let us make our 3 points. So midfield are serving to wingers. Wingers are giving to attackers. Defense is there to block if the opponents are coming, right? I watch football a lot, so nobody should be surprised. So everybody in the team is serving each other. Nobody is there to say one man cannot play. That's why we have 11 players. Everybody is there to serve, to meet a common goal of 3 points. So what is the goal of your marriage? What is your vision? Is it just to be putting food on the table every day? Is that what we are here for? Or just to make babies? No, every marriage should have a goal. And it can be a yearly goal. This year, what is our target? The vision is the bigger one. You know, I attended a course sometime 2024. And in that particular course, I didn't attend that course online. And our facilitator asked me a question. And that question, it made me go back to my drawing board to rearrange myself in my home. And what did the facilitator ask me? She said, Jennifer, how many kids do you have? I told her 2. And she said, how long have you been married? At the time, 6 years. I said, 6 years. And she said, how would you want your 20th anniversary to look like? And I didn't quite get where the question was headed. So I was just, trying to rack my brain. And she said, who and who would you like to see? She just said, imagine your 20th anniversary, you're having a grand party, Who and who would you like to see as guests at your 20th wedding anniversary? And the first thing that came to my mind was my children, my family. She said, hold it there. Children and family. I said, yes. And the next question she asked me, she said, what would you like your children to say about your marriage on your 20th anniversary? Brothers and sisters. I didn't have an answer at the time, but I sat down and I thought and thought. That is the same question I'm asking everybody here today. I don't know how long you have been married. If you have been married for 20 years or 30 years, let's just say on your 50th wedding anniversary, what would you, because you know how these parties go now, they'll give people mic to talk. What can you say about this marriage? Has this marriage been a model to you, and all of that? Now I'm not talking about general people, your children. What would you want your children to say? What would you like them to say about your marriage? What will they say about your marriage on your 20th, 30th, any anniversary you're going to celebrate grand or in life generally? What will your children say about your marriage? That is what we need to start building from now. That thing that your children will say about your marriage that will make you feel fly. We have to start building it. It doesn't fall from the sky. Great marriages don't just happen. They are built, and they are built intentionally. If there's anything you're going to take from this meeting today, is intentionality. Intentionality. You must be intentional about your marriage. Someone's mic is on.
It's not your mic that is on.
I think it's Michael Chizuroke. Your mic is on. Okay, thank you. So, intentionality is key in every relationship. Marriage, number 1. What would you want your children to say? Build it. If you must hear it, then you must build it. So, we're talking about communication. In my own case, it was bad in the beginning. I took series of classes. I've attended EI courses. That's emotional intelligence. I went for therapy. A lot. My husband was not exclusive. He too, we have had counseling sessions to help us so that we can be whole enough to raise whole children, because your marriage is a model to your children. See, however your marriage is, that's the kind of marriage your children will have. I'm sorry, but that is the truth. If your marriage is chaotic, best bet your children's marriage will be chaotic because that is their familiar. So they will attract chaotic partners as well and replicate that marriage. Your marriage, again, is a model for your children. So the earlier we start building intentionally about our marriage, building our marriage intentionally, the better. And the earlier we start building whole kids as well. Now we are moving to emotional distance and temptation. I like to talk about this part because people just talk about cheating. Oh, my husband is cheating on me. He's looking at one girl. Oh, he's looking at... See, cheating has different angles. And I hope that I'm able to touch a bit of all of the angles. Regarding this, I refuse to write cheating in my slide. Emotional distance and temptation, because that's what you say. He was tempted, or is the devil's work, or she was tempted. The man seduced her, or the woman seduced him. You know, there's a lot. Now, when we are abroad, away from home, we have addressed some other things earlier. I decided to put emotional distance and temptation as the last thing because it is a build-up. Emotional distance doesn't just happen. Your husband doesn't just start looking at another girl, or your wife doesn't just start being in constant communication with another guy. Things happen. Things happen. Now, the pressure we have been talking about from the beginning is what leads to this distance. So I gave an example earlier on when I said you can be coming back from work. That is when your spouse is leaving. There's no time. We are not seeing each other. And because there's no intentionality in even creating time, maybe the husband now has a work body that is female, that because they are always in the same space, they start talking. Once you are in constant communication with an opposite sex, feelings will grow. My brothers and sisters, let nobody deceive us. Feelings must grow. So for let's say for the women, you now have maybe a colleague, a man that is always there to listen to everything you have to say, because we women, we like to talk. So you have a man that is always at work, that is always listening to you. Oh, I made this today. Oh, my kids did that today. Oh, you always, before you know it, you're already having small feelings. Feelings will grow. Now there's now a bridge between you and your spouse. Emotional distance. You are now getting attached to your work body. For the men, it's the same thing. There's now one lady in the office, and maybe this lady is even packs lunch. Because your wife is picking up several shifts, you too, you have several shifts. There's no time to cook. Maybe they'll say, grab snack, grab burger on your way out. This lady, she comes with lunch. Ah, hi, Mr. Chidi. I hope there's no Mr. Chidi in this meeting. Let me just use an English name. Okay, don't worry. Let me...
Mr. Chidi.
Oh, I didn't even see you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. My hands are up. Baharam. Forgive me, please. So let me just say, Mr. George goes to work. My surname is George. Yes, my name is Jennifer George. I hope there's no George here. Let me use my own name for this illustration. So let's just say Mr. George goes to work, grabs a burger from any fast food, and then his colleague comes with nice meal for lunch, and then she packs for two, and they're always having lunch together. In the beginning, it can look like a harmless gesture, right? Ah, she cooks. She just said, this my colleague, because of the extra shift and all that. Let me just pack for two, and then they eat. They have started eating lunch together. He's not eating lunch from home, of course, because of the pressure that we have been talking about. It's not a bad thing. And your colleagues can make food now and share with you, right? You eat. But what is it causing when there's no intentionality for your spouse at home? You start catching feelings. And then you now begin to see the flaws of your wife at home or of your husband at home. Oh, this man, he's always doing like this. He doesn't pack his socks well. He always keeps his shoes scattered. You know, all those irrelevant things. And then you now start telling yourself, it's those little things that matters. Those are the little things that matters. Those are the little things that matters. Because you are seeing someone else that is putting his shoes together. Maybe you're taking night shift and it's time to rest. He pulls his shoes and he comparison sets in. These are the temptations. Comparison sets in. Now there's emotional isolation. Because you have channeled to somebody that keeps you company at work. Which of course starts off harmless, right? Reduce quality time together. Yes, no time now. We're picking up long hours. Everybody's working. Everybody's trying to meet needs. No family support system. So when one person is at home, there's children to be catered for. No time. That is when you now have increased vulnerability to outside emotional connections. That is that your work body. The person that you are always communicating with. Strong couples intentionally rebuild. What do they rebuild? Emotional connection, trust, safe communication. Now, let me explain how, in case someone is thinking, oh, but we are always working. Oh, we are not meeting each other. Let me explain. I talked about intentionality. In a week, there must be a time. I don't know the kind of needs that we are meeting, that we are picking up jobs that in a whole week, we have not seen our spouse to sit down and gist. It's not healthy. What is the need? Are we trying to buy a mansion? We can draw a plan for that. As much as you are drawing budgets for the month, you should draw a plan for your marriage every month. You can make it weekly. I'm not saying every day people must sit down and gist. Of course, because of the living condition over there might not be time for that. But what do you do within the week? You cannot tell me that within a week, you don't have time together. No, you must create the time. The 24 hours you have, that is what I have. That is what everybody has. You are the one your 24 hours will not arrange you. You are the one to arrange your 24 hours. And if you are giving your spouse in a week a few hours, I tell you, it will boost your marriage significantly. In a whole week, there must be time for date nights. There must be time. If this week we are doing date nights, put the kids to bed. Yes, you want to sleep. Put the kids to bed. You can be on your bed. You can put the duvet on the floor. Put a movie. It should be a romantic movie. Me, I'm not here to preach cover body and no cover body. We are talking raw talk here. So that temptation will not come out outside. If it is the date night, get popcorn or get whatever it is that we're getting. Sit down, see a romantic movie. Things can happen after that. Let it happen. You can't be too tired for sex. No. You are too tired. So who should give your husband? Or who should give your wife? Brothers and sisters, please. We cannot be too tired. And if you're tired, give quickie. Quickie is sharp. Remove the thing that is in the waist and everybody will go and sleep. And you know that sleep that comes after sex is the most relaxed kind of sleep. If it is movies you want to see, yes. If you want to take a walk, take a walk. Whatever you want to do, but you must create time. If not, the work body will help you to create that time. So in case, as a man or a woman, you're already thinking, it's like my wife there's someone that is now giving her attention. Or it's like there's one lady that's now giving my husband attention. Don't quarrel him. There are things to do. Trust me, there are things to do. There's a lady I was working with in one of my private sessions. and she said that there's her husband, she's suspecting that he's seeing someone. And I asked her, I said, when last did you both have like heart-to-heart conversations, just talk about you? When did you people just talk about you? She was like, I can't really remember. I say, problem number one, your communication cannot just be about bills, about what next, and neglecting each other. No. If something happens to one person, the next person everybody will be all right. Everybody will always be all right. That's why we need to be intentional about ourselves. And I told her, I said, set up a movie night at home today. Of course, we had other conversations that led to this. I'm just fast forwarding to the steps that we took, practical steps that we took. And I told her, set up a movie night at home. She said it has not happened before. How is he going to react? Are you sure? Are you sure? And I said, am I sure? My sister, try this. Come back and thank me. And she set up the movie night. I told her, go to a nearby cosmetic shop. Don't use your regular perfume. Get body mist. Get new shower gel. Spice up the place. Make it look something that has not happened before. Try this. She did. And I think 2 days after, she called me and told me that after that night, that the next morning her husband called in sick as well, just so that they can continue yet they stopped the previous day. You don't know what you are missing not spending time with your spouse. No matter how tired you are, please have sex. No matter, and not the kind of sex that you just lie down like log. No. Cover the gap of that temptation. Have quality time. Spend quality time together. Quality time is not just about penetrative sex, right? There are other things to do. There are other things. Talk about yourself. Play with yourself. Do something. Something to bring the man's head. Men are moved by what they see. My sisters, I'm talking to us now. Men are moved by what they see. Women are moved by what they hear. For the men, try to talk to your wives. Even if you are not feeling what you were feeling 10 years ago when you got married, take your mind back then. And these are practical tools I'm giving you now. For the men, because women are moved by what they hear, you can send her a text. Even at work, tell her something. My sisters, I know the power of a woman. It can be a daily something. You are at work, but you're not seeing each other. Let her know that you still think about her. Try this. Send her text messages. Not, hello, what are we having for dinner? Or hi, should I grab bread on my way home? No. Make her know that you still see her. Let her feel seen. Let her feel heard. Even if you people had an argument, you can send her, whether you feel it or not, just send her the text message. I wish this class was women separate, men separate. I'm sharing men gist with the women. I'm sharing women gist with the men. I like to talk to, when I'm having my one-on-one sessions, I like talking to the men alone first and talk to the women alone, because there are tools I give women that men are not supposed to hear. They just see it and they are blown away. There are tools I also give to men that women see and then they are blown away. So the expo I'm giving us as a combined class, men, women, hear this. Men are moved by what they see. If you know that you have started putting on weight as a woman, this is not to pressure you to say, oh, you are losing weight because of the man. No. Lose weight for your health first. Always pick yourself first, of course. Now, the weight loss is going to be very beneficial for your health and also for your marriage. Your husband is going to benefit. When you can squat very well, you can spread very well, he is going to enjoy, right? Women are moved by what they hear. Tell her stuff, and she will move mountains for you. We need to bring the connection back. The distance is not going to help. Remember, what do you need your children to say about your marriage in years to come? We need to start building that. And the building begins from connection. We need to start building connection first. And how does connection start off? From communication. So, and change is constant, right? Change is constant. So what you think that your husband liked when you got married might not be what he likes now. Because boys converse. Men, when they are together as men, they converse, they have conversations. This one is saying, oh, this is what I got, you know. I don't want to go into details of what they can be talking about, but I know these things, right? And he's telling you, if your husband tells you, I want to try this, don't ask why. Where did you get this one from? Where did you get this one from? Who told you that? Who told you? Just give it to him. Because in marriage, there's something called compromise. There's something called sacrifice. Yes, we make all of that for our marriage to work. Don't you like peace? For you to enjoy peace, because you are dealing with someone from a different background. You got married to an adult that has lived in a certain way over the years. You don't expect that when you get married to him, he's going to change. No man changes for a woman. A man changes because he wants to change. Men know what I'm talking about. A man changes because he wants to change something. He doesn't change because the woman said, you need to change. That is where communication comes in. That is where emotional intelligence comes in. You want your husband to change something. There are ways, women, we have the tricks. There are ways to go about it. We need to be intentional about our marriage. I'm just trying to check my time so that there can be time for question and answer. I know this session is supposed to end by 12, so I want to give us some time for questions, right? So, when we are talking about emotional distance and temptation, it begins from the pressure of relocating. We have to do this, we have to, there are a lot, the pressure is just too much and it is different. It's not something we are familiar with. So when one spouse can get someone that sort of is a listening ear or can understand them, they just begin to tilt towards that channel. And then you feel like, oh, this person is not there for me. Yes, he cannot be there for you later on. That is why we need to start building intentionally, so that you both will always be there for each other. Whatever it is that happened at work, even if a man eye you at work, maybe someone is trying to look at you somehow, why can't you discuss that with your husband? Throw it as gist. Let the man know too that you two are still in the market. And men love to own their show. They love to tell you that I'm in charge. You always do something to beat what the other person has done before. Not like they're in a competition. All I'm trying to say is be intentional about your marriage. Don't fight each other. Don't fight each other. Just plug my system so that it doesn't shut down. Okay, so intentionality. There are so many key points I've given here today. Marriage is service. Marriage is service. Intentionality is key for a thriving marriage. It might not be convenient, but you have to do it. Whatever it will take for your marriage to keep thriving, for your marriage to stand. And that is where compromise comes in. Yes, there are things that you are not convenient with, but your spouse finds it fascinating. Go ahead and do it. For peace sake, nobody is right. Nobody, don't always be right. Oh, it must be my way because I'm the head of the home. No, sir. It doesn't work that way. There's this common phrase, a happy wife is a happy home. It's true, oh my brothers. It is true. If you've noticed, when your wife is happy, the atmosphere of the home is light. It feels fresh. It feels calm and nice. That is because a happy wife is actually a happy home. And for the women, men thrive on respect. You can tell your husband you don't agree with his opinion respectfully, not to tell him to his face. This one you say, no, I don't agree. No, you are challenging his ego. And that's not healthy for your home. You don't challenge a man's ego. I'm just saying, like I said, I didn't come here to blame anybody. I'm just here for you to understand why whatever you are facing is happening. Is the stress and the different, the shock of cultural adjustments and all of that. That is why you're facing what you're facing. And there are ways to adjust. There are ways to rearrange this. And that is why I created something for us. I created something for us. Let me, someone drop something in the chat box. Okay. I created this resource for us. This will help you reflect better. Because pressure is common with diaspora couples. That is why I created this short guide to help you reflect on your marriage honestly. And that is why I'm not talking about this. I created it as a guide and I'll send it to the people in charge, right? And they will send it across to everyone. So everybody is going to sit with this guide, answer the questions in it so that you know and understand at what stage your marriage is currently. And why I'm saying alone is so that nobody will lie to themselves. When you look at it, you read through, you know that, okay, this is where my own is. It will help you identify your pressure points. If it is communication, if it is financial stress, if it is the expectations, temptations, emotional distance, and all of that. Couples who go through these assessments will discover things about their marriage. Those things that they've not talked about. Those things that they've not even fully recognized. You don't even know that this is the reason why my marriage is like this. Everything is in this guide for you. And it is free. I'll send it to the management and everybody will get it. Go through it if you can. After going through it, I want to believe that if you are not with your spouse, when you receive the guide, send it to your spouse. Let them also sit with it. When you are done answering the questions on the guide, both of you can come together and talk about it. Every detail you will need after going through the guide is in the guide. Okay? So, before we conclude, before we get to the Q&A session, or before I say that, let's go to Q&A. So I am open to questions and answers. If where you are is noisy and you can't turn on the mic, okay, someone has. Okay, so before
Hi.
that, let me stop
Okay.
sharing the screen.
Yeah. Mine is more like a comment. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Kelechi,
Okay.
right?
It's just yeah. I think for me it's more like a comment rather than a question. I want to thank you for making a time to have this session. I used to believe, that there is no rule book to marriage. I don't believe in one size fits all. But I think and see every marriage as unique, and everybody needs to come in with their own imperfections and then try to work out something. So if you're depending strictly on a rule book, then it might even lead to conflict at the long run. However, there's something you say that really, I would say, is my key takeaway from the session, which is about and how it shapes and affects our reaction to issues. Relating it to my own personal experience, I realized that sometimes when I have like a quarrel or misunderstanding with my wife, and
Yeah.
then in my quiet moment, I'm beginning to like do a mental backtrack, and then I'm thinking, what actually is the basis of this misunderstanding? And to be honest, in most cases, I say that it's actually coming from me, not because I'm a troublesome person, but because I see that I'm actually misunderstanding maybe the words that she's saying or the reactions that she's making. And then I ask myself, like, why then does this keep happening? You know? So it wasn't until you started talking about the stress part of it, when you are overloaded with work, and then I realized that in those cases, you become very thirsty, you become very irritated, and every little thing makes you agitated, something that you can actually ignore, something that probably in your calm moment, you could have seen it the actual way the person intended it to be. But because you're already clouded with and overwhelmed and stressed, and then just one little statement or one little action, you misinterpret it,
Yes.
misunderstand it, and then it leads to that conflict. So for me, I think what I just said to myself is when I don't go pack all those plenty 10 hours, 12 hours join together, I won't kill myself. Then whenever
Yeah.
I'm back, I'll just try and be, I try and avoid engagements. That is what I just said to
Mm.
myself now that at that moment, at least for a while, I'll just try and avoid, engagements, because I've now come to realize that it's actually in those mood, in that state of mind that I become very testy, and then maybe begin to react negatively to something that is actually nothing, is actually nothing. So that's just
Yes.
like my main takeaway about the stress
Yes.
and then how it affects our, attitude. I didn't know, to be honest, until now. I didn't even start thinking, because I've been asking myself, like, what could be the reason why this is always happening? But now that you started talking about it, I started, it can actually be because at this moment I'm actually stressed. I'm like losing it. My mind is full. So any little
Yes.
thing is like keeping me on the edge, and then I'm reacting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a key takeaway from me. That's just what I want to
Yeah.
say. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you so much for sharing. So I would love to add to what you have said, Mr. Kelechi. So this is what I would recommend moving forward for you. So thank God that you have realized where this might be stemming from, right? So when I think you need to have a conversation with your wife concerning these things, that when I come back from work, this is how I feel and all of that. Because men are not generally very expressive, especially when it comes to how they feel, their pains, their problems. They just feel, let me handle it on my own. Let me just keep quiet, keep calm. If you are not, if you are not there yet, when I mean there, like if you are not, mm, if you cannot express how exactly you are feeling immediately you come back from work. What I mean is, now there are some couples that maybe the husband come back from work tired. He just wants to tell his wife how his day went. If you can do that, that would help you. Just express, open up and tell her how you feel today. Man, I feel so tired. There's somebody that did this today. If you are too tired to talk, have a conversation with her that when I get back from work, can I please have an hour or two or less to catch my brain back, catch myself back? Now, what you should promise, because you can't just tell her to leave you for an hour or two and it ends there. No. What you should promise is after that time you have gotten yourself, you come back and give her time and attention. I don't know if it makes sense to you. So you should promise on when I rest my head and calm down, you cannot come back and explain how your day went. Maybe today, thank God I've slept, my brain don't come down. Pick it up from there so that because aside from realizing, you need to put systems in place to help curtail that kind of thing. Because even if you realize, if there are no systems and structures, it will happen again. And then you feel like, but she's supposed to know that I'm tired now, I'm stressed now, I should rest. No, 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 no. Open conversation. Does that help, Mr. Kelechi?
Yes. Thanks very much. I think it's a good approach. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so any other question? Maybe someone wants to ask directly before I read up. While people are preparing for their questions, let me read the question I have here. So someone is saying, would I encourage people to marry abroad or to marry someone from their own country or tribe? So this is what I'm going to say first of all. Marriage is not about an environment. Firstly, marriage is about you. Before you even take on a spouse, I want to talk to you. What are your values? That's the first thing. When I talk to single people, when they say, how do I know the right man? How do I know if he's the one? How do I know if she's the one? What are your values in life? That is the first thing. Because you must marry someone that aligns with your values. So if your values are faith-based, for example, I must marry a Bible-believing person, maybe a Christian, not just a lukewarm Christian. If you are the kind of man that is spiritual, you take God seriously, you pray, you read spiritual books, you read your Bible and all of that. Number one value is faith to you. So you must marry a faithful person. Now, you cannot marry someone that is lukewarm or is not, the person doesn't even know where he or she stands. So the first thing is marriage is not about an environment. It's not about, you can definitely see somebody abroad that her values aligns with yours or his values aligns with yours. That is what you should look out for. You shouldn't look out to get married to someone because he's from a country. Country does not make people. Values make people. Tribe does not make people. Values make people. I have there's my parent coach is an Igbo lady, and she's married to a Yoruba man, and they have been married for 16 years now, 16 or 17 years. Of course, every marriage have their issues, but they're still standing strong. So it's not really about the tribe, okay? It's about your personal value. So if you as a person, you don't have values, I think that is the best place to start from. You need to start working on yourself. Some persons don't even know when they say, what are my values? What are those things that move you? What are those things that gives you drive? To some persons, one of their values is authenticity. So you can't see yourself standing around fake people. You can't see yourself standing around people that pretend, people that lie, people that, yeah. So what are your values? That's the first. Then question number 2 says, what suggestions would you give us after bringing your wife abroad, only for her to refuse to contribute financially to the household once she got a job, preferring instead to support her family back home? So this particular question, there are 2 sides to it that I'm going to talk about. So number 1 is there's something that is making her not to bring money. I wish I can speak to this person's wife privately. I need to know why she is refusing to contribute. So I'm not going to contribute. I want to send my money back home to my people. I would love to know from her why. Like Ms. Akinechi rightly said, there's no one size fits all. So I cannot say, go and do this and it will work, because everyone has a different mindset. Everyone has a different perspective. Everyone has a different personality. So there's no one size fits all. Mr. Akinechi was right on that. There's no one size fits all in marriage. Just know you and your spouse. What is your own uniqueness? Why do we behave the way we do, and what can work us? So for this person talking about contribution financially, honest conversation with your wife about moving forward when it comes to money. But the question is saying she refused. So I'm assuming that you've had a conversation. If there's a way I can speak to this person's wife, I would love to. Because the stress is too much on one person. I'm not even going to lie. One person cannot cater to all the billings over there and then still be sending money back home. Why? Why would she want to be sending money to only her family? What was your marriage like in Nigeria before you moved abroad? These are questions I'm going to ask. And I don't think it's something we're going to talk about online here. These are the angles to this question. What was your marriage like abroad? So if your marriage was like if you were the sole provider in your home when you were in Nigeria, both of you, and then whatever money she gets, she sends, it's just you're trying to change, and some persons are almost resistant to change. She's not used to this kind of lifestyle you are bringing in. You see, this is where expectation meets reality. Maybe she's not used to this kind of lifestyle that you have introduced to her because you relocated. Or there's something more. There's always something. There's always a why to this. So there's no particular suggestion I'm going to give. The only suggestion I'll give is to get her to speak with me. I'd love to speak with her.
I have a question, please.
All right, Mr. Chidi. Mr. Chidi is my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for everything. But I wanted to know from you, what is your definition of marriage that will summarize everything we have? Because sometimes we know marriage, we go into it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
from all these things, what do you think? What is your definition of marriage?
Okay, so because marriage is a very unique institution, I personally would say marriage is two people coming together to serve each other intentionally with love. I don't know if I need to take that again. Marriage is two people. Okay, let me put it all together. Marriage is two people with shared values coming together to serve intentionally with love. Let me see if I can type this and put it in the comment section so everyone can read it. Marriage is two people with shared values coming together to serve each other. Mr. Kelechi, does that help my definition? Sorry, I don't know why I'm calling Mr. Kelechi. Mr. Chidi, my friend. Marriage is two people with shared values coming together to serve each other intentionally with love.
Thank you.
Mr. Chidi, please. Okay. Does this help? Okay. So okay, I've seen a question.
Okay.
What is the very first step a couple should take today if they feel like they have already become strangers under the same roof? Getting strangers together. I would say send me a message for a private session.
Okay,
that should be the first step.
I have a question.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, I want to appreciate you. I thank you for your nice words and explanations on certain issues about marriage.
Yeah.
I'm also sorry that I did not join this section on time due to some unforeseen circumstances. So my question is, though, if you had previously treated that, then you might skip it. But if you have not, then I would like to
know your own view about this. So my question is, aside from pressure, financially and otherwise in abroad, that makes marriage somehow cumbersome here. There are other things I think that might be nice if we can talk about that. Like I heard you when you were saying about somebody eyeing somebody maybe in a place of work, somebody getting intimate with somebody at work due to something that started casually or something. So if such thing happens, and unfortunately there is extramarital, activities, this has really caused a mayhem here where we live, that so many marriages dissolved as a result of you cheat on me or you cheated on me, something like that. So if such a thing happened and one of the partners in the marriage happen to have extramarital activities outside and the wife or the husband finds out, what will be your advice for both of them? Because so many marriages actually have really been in mess as a result of this. So I want you to talk to us about this in two different dimensions. One, you will have to talk to us like an African person. Then you can also talk to us like a liberal thought, something like that.
Okay.
All right.
So thank you. So when infidelity happens to the person that was cheated on, what happens to that person is more than feeling hurt or feeling pain. There's a wound it creates, and that is trauma already. So there's something called infidelity recovery. That is what we would usually recommend for the person that was cheated on. Now, that's the cheatee, there's a cheater and the cheatee. So for the person that actually cheated, when they say you cannot drag a horse to the river, you can drag a horse to the river rather, you cannot give the horse to drink. Is the person remorseful? That's where we start from. Because as much as the person has cheated, some persons will cheat and they would hate themselves for it. How did I get here? That's an easier case to handle. That's someone that is standing on their rights, that are falling out of love with you. Okay, I've cheated, so I don't even want the marriage again. That is a different scenario. So if it is a case where the person is feeling remorse that he or she has cheated, then they cannot just, it doesn't end with sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, it will not happen again. There are things to do. The person who was cheated on needs to go for infidelity recovery sessions to rework on their mind to build trust, because trust has been shattered. There's no trust. Even the love has depreciated, and there's no relationship without trust. If there's no trust, then there's nothing happening there. So we need to work on who has been cheated on to rebuild their trust. While the person that cheated, having been remorseful, there are also things the person needs to do to earn the trust of who you have cheated on. Because trust must be earned. It's not, they don't dish it out to people. So cheating is a big deal. It's not just one of those classes that we just come and talk, like communication. Okay, you need to communicate, we need to give you tools. Cheating is deeper than, because you have given what was sacred to one person, you have given it to another person. That is dangerous. It is. And it is more dangerous to who was cheated on based on their mind. It's trauma to them already. So they need to heal from that trauma. I just hope that when they do this thing, they even get remorse, because when they are not remorsed, when they don't want to stop, they don't want help. That's the person that is doing the cheating. When the person does not want help, that's where it gets quite messy for the marriage. We can still work on the person that was cheated on to help the person. So that's basically that about this cheating thing. It's not a general class because there are questions to ask. The person that cheated, has that been their lifestyle, or as they traveled abroad, is it because of the work? You know, there's just a lot. If you are at the verge of cheating, you know that you have not done it yet, but you're already catching feelings for somebody else. Please come back. We can always do something to get the spark back. Please don't go ahead with it. If it's part of your intentions, please don't go ahead with it. We can always do something to get that spark back.
Okay, I want to add something for you to explain more on this, because to me, sorry to sound this, I thought your explanation is somehow vague, or
Okay.
is general, something like that.
Okay.
Okay, so but let me also narrow it down so that you can arrive at a specific explanation, something like that. Okay, let's assume that the infidelity has happened and the person is willing to change, to make a change. You know, it's always rare, naturally, to see a cheater. As in when you caught somebody cheating, to always say, well, what can you do about it? You know, that marriage has been damaged before even the cheating. So, I mean, in a situation where you just find out that your husband or your wife cheated on you, you know, and there is remorsefulness, actually. So, I want to know, and maybe others can also know, whether it is enough to dissolve a marriage for one of the partners to say, I'm done because you've cheated on me. Is it enough when there is, I've placed a scenario that there is a remorsefulness, you know? So is it enough to dissolve marriage? So that's where I'm going to. Thank you.
So for me personally, I don't think, I'm not saying it is not. This is my personal view. Why I am making this personal is because everybody is wired differently. There are people that will tell you that cheating is a deal breaker for me. The moment you cheat, the marriage is done. But then, how do you see marriage in the first place? So for me, marriage is a covenant I have made with God and the person I am married to. And I don't think covenants can be broken. Now, please, nobody should misunderstand me. This is my personal opinion. There are people that don't have this mindset that I have. So, to them, if they can break out, but I am sharing with everybody here my personal opinion. So, because you have said the person is remorseful, that is a very great start. Now, marriage is a covenant. That is what marriage is. Some persons don't agree, some persons don't believe, but that is what marriage is. Now, if this mistake has happened and the person is remorseful, then we can start working on reviving the marriage and not to break out. It is not to break out. I don't want to use the word it is not enough, because cheating is a big deal. It is massive. So, but because marriage is a covenant and the person has made that mistake, thankfully the person is remorseful and the person should be willing to do every work to rebuild the marriage back. We can go back and start rebuilding from the beginning, just so that we get the home together. Because a broken home is disastrous. A broken home is like is what people call generational curse. Did someone say something, please? Mr. Kelechi, your mic is on. As I was saying, a broken home is what people call generational curse, because the trauma is passed down and down and down to generations. So marriage is a covenant. Thankfully, that person is remorseful. We can work on getting the marriage back together. Please do not break the marriage. Do not break out. Do not end it because of that mistake. Your name is not on your phone. I would have called you to ask if this helps, but it's iPhone that is written there.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, yes, you really hit it at the nail. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah.
So there are two messages on the chat. They were anonymously sent in. From the first one you mentioned it, but it's also anonymous. So I guess the person will not reach out to you. So if you can give us a general response on that.
Okay. Feeling unappreciated. Common theme is feeling unappreciated. Based on your experience, how should a spouse communicate this feeling without starting a fight? Okay, so this question, it looks okay. I don't want to put a gender to it. So when you say feeling unappreciated, that's a common theme of the general questions that have been coming in. Let's say one spouse is feeling unappreciated. So let me use myself as an example. I am feeling unappreciated. How will I tell my husband that I am not feeling appreciated without starting a fight? Right? Did I get it correctly? How should the spouse communicate this feeling without starting a fight? Yes. So let me use myself as an example. So I stay at home. For example, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and my husband is the one that is doing the work. Goes out, go to work, take up many shifts. I am staying at home because we have kids, nobody to take care of the kids, they're toddlers. I'm just creating a scenario of this feeling appreciated now. So we have maybe 2 toddlers or 3 toddlers at home. I'm the one at home doing the nanny work, but my husband is taking off 2-3 shifts. I am working and he is working, but he comes home and maybe the house is upside down because, of course, children will be children. They want to play with toys and all of that. And he comes home and maybe starts complaining. What have you been doing at home since? How can I go to work and come back and the house is still scattered like this? Why is this like that? At the spot, I am feeling like, what do you even mean? But I've been at home with these children. So am I playing? Have I not been the one taking care of the children? This is the scenario. Now, this is what I would say. A practical example of how to pass the message without starting a fight. I'm speaking as a woman, and this applies to both men and women. Honor. Honor. That's why I said marriage is a service. You are serving the other person. First of all, appreciate the person. You want to complain about not feeling appreciated. Appreciate the work the person is doing. So this is what I'm going to do practically. I'll meet my husband when he's calm. I would hold him and thank him for his work. Let him know that I see him. Babe, I see you. I see the late nights of work. I see the long hours. I see how stressed you are. I see how you prioritize this family. I mean, taking all of these shifts is just so that we have food to eat, we have a place to stay, we dress and look nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. At this point, what I have done is I have massaged my husband's ego. Men are egoistic, not in the bad way. Yes. So I have massaged his ego. And at this point, he's like, my dear, this work is really stressful, but how will I do now? I love my family, right? I have to do this so that everyone is okay. And we see you, myself and the kids, we see you, we appreciate you, we love you so much. You have massaged his ego. What I have done, what I will do next is when he starts saying, this work, I can just chip in. Babe, you see what I have to go through with these children every day. It's a lot. I can start by reporting one of the child. These are the tricks. You see, I can start by reporting one of the child. This boy will just play and throw the toys everywhere. I will pack 20 times. Sometimes I just finish packing and he's pouring before you are coming in. You are passing the message. You are not starting a fight. This is me letting my husband know, because I have massaged his ego. He's calm and he's listening. And you cannot hear something like, are you serious? These children, now wow, children, sha. And children will always be children. They will always scatter the house. What will I do? You have passed the message. and the man has gotten the message. Don't think, really hear, is he hearing me? If you have to do it over and over, when you don't acknowledge the work that this is both the man and the woman I'm talking, giving this, I'm just using myself because I'm a woman, right? Now, if I don't appreciate the work of my husband and I'm starting a fight, don't you see what I'm doing? Oh, me, I'm doing too. Oh, me, I'm doing too. What I'm doing is I'm painting a picture of criticism in my husband's eyes. He begins to see that, oh, I'm not doing enough. So me that have to go out and take 3 hours, I'm still the one bringing my money to the table just to take care of fight has happened, conflict, because his perspective now is different. The message you're trying to pass is different.
Your volume has cut off. We can't hear you anymore.
Can other people hear me?
We can hear you now.
You can hear me now? Oh,
yes.
Loud and clear.
I'm sorry about that, please. Okay, so for the man feeling unappreciated, maybe the woman is always making demands, or yes, making demands. You come back, you even ask me how I am. You will not even ask me how I manage with the children. Because we are thinking from our hearts, we just start telling you how you should be talking to us. At least tell me now. Tell me that I'm trying. I'm taking care of 2 children. I'm taking care of 3 children. That's how she's telling you that she wants to feel appreciated. But the man can take it another way. So for a man, when a woman starts telling you, I think I've talked about the woman already. So for a man, how do you tell your wife that you don't feel appreciated without starting a fight? So if she makes the man, don't hit her back with, like I said, women are moved by what they hear. Don't hit her back with, after taking how many shifts, are you not seeing the work I'm doing? I'm bringing money to the table, and all of that. What you are doing to her is, you are telling her that she's useless, so that what she's doing is not working. She's not working, she's not doing anything. She's feeling useless already. What you can do, also acknowledge the work that she has done. My brothers, to take care of children is not easy. It is not a day's job. It's just that God has given women that, extra nurture skill to take care of children and all that. But acknowledge the work. Then tell her, women, our heart is more active than our head. When you want to tell your wife what you are going through, let her appreciate you the more. Tell her how you have worked in the day. Share with her. Today, I carried 50 cartons. I did this. This person even insulted me. Women, we don't like somebody insulting our husbands. If you have to chip that in, she will see how much work that you have done. You don't have to fight. It's easier for me to give the scenario from my end because I'm a woman. Massage the man's ego. For a woman, you want her to appreciate your work. When you're at work, just send her a message. I know you are trying now at work or maybe with the kids. Don't worry, things will get better soon. I see you. You have told her something. She's already feeling somehow. By the time you come back home, she too want to ask you, so how was work today? Hey, they've stressed you. Sorry. For Yorubas, they'll say, Abele. Women will say, no, don't worry. This is a clear, practical example of appreciation without starting a fight. Don't throw the talk at your spouse to say, me, am I not working? Me, am I not doing this? I will start thinking something else. I will start thinking of the hidden message, the thing that is under that thing you are saying, without taking your words for it. I don't know if this my explanation helps with this question. Can someone turn on their mic?
Thank you. Hello, thank you for that. Yes, and I know that time is, but I wanted to also bring something up so that I can see your reaction on this.
Okay.
This application, is it limited or unlimited? And what I mean by that is, after years of marriage, let's say after 10 years, 15 years of marriage, you discover that that tone of appreciation may have died down, especially after 10, 15 years of marriage. So what advice will you give to people who are more than 10, 15 years, who feel like they are not being appreciated again the way it used to be? You understand me? Because now, after 15 years, you've known her, she's known you, and it's like things that you do or those things you've been doing are now being taken for granted.
For granted.
So how do you, react, when you start feeling this way after so many years of marriage?
Okay. So for people that have been married this long, first of all, what I'm going to say is this is a clear example of see finish. Nigerian man says, see finish. You don't see me finish now because you have been married for long. But this is where intentionality comes in. So for the person that is feeling unappreciated, maybe because years have passed, the same thing applies. Honor your spouse to pass your message, number one. Go out of your way to bring back old times. This is what I used to tell like older couples so that see finish does not set in. It's those sparks that we marry. That's what will keep it long term. It's just that we evolve, What I used to like then is not what I like now. So if you used to buy me flowers then to say, oh, babe, maybe now you want to buy me chocolates, For older couples, number one thing, this previous explanation applies. Honor the person. Bring back conversations. So if it is you that is feeling unappreciated, then honor your spouse. Then if it's you that is not appreciating, please, appreciation is unlimited. It's not limited to only the first 5 years of marriage. It is for a lifetime. That is what will make your spouse feel seen. I see you, I hear you. That's the language he speaks. So please, appreciation. First things first, appreciation is unlimited. As long as you are alive in that marriage, continually appreciate your spouse, both in words and in action. Buy small gifts. You don't necessarily need to say thank you for all these years. Thank you. Once you give gift is already speaking for you, no matter how little it is. It must not be a car. It must not be a house. Small something, just buy and give. Appreciation is not limited. Okay? Hello, Mr. Chidi.
Ma, for this message, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm still trying to, are there other questions? We've hit our time for today. Okay. So if there are no more questions, I don't know if there's any pastor here or maybe pastor's wife here, but I am a pastor's wife. Someone has turned on his mic. You have something to say, please? Okay.
Yeah. Are you closing already?
Yes, we've hit our time. It's for 2 hours. It's past
Okay.
my end already.
Okay. First, I want to appreciate you. Thank you for the wonderful seminar you just hosted for us.
You're welcome, sir.
Actually, my name is Christopher, the chairman of Igbo Union.
Oh,
so I want to thank you and also thank the members that joined for today's seminar. I hope this your seminar touches our heart and the place we are finding it difficult. Actually, the message you were reading in the first time, I was the one that sent the message, So it's not that it happened to me, but I have a friend that it happened to, So after bringing a wife all the way from Africa, they start encountering a little challenge. So at a point, the guy lose his job, and it happened that the wife was the head of the
breadwinner
of the family here in Estonia, and they start this kind of nagging, and they really like, okay, go out, other men are doing all this, the other men are doing this to put food on the table. So whenever the lady receive the salary, and the guy say, okay, let us sort out things. And the lady say he have a problem in his family back home in Africa. So at a point, it happened that the man cannot endure what is going on in the family, and the marriage came to separate. So that's why I put on that question, so that it will now give us a guideline, all of us.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for this particular question, like I said, except I speak with whoever this is going through this kind of challenge, to know the unique, I need to know why. So for the wife that is telling her husband that your fellow men are getting money, there's something wrong. There's something definitely wrong that she has to say, and if she was with me privately, of course there are guided questions to get what the actual issue is from her. But the truth is, these things don't just happen. The woman will not just wake up and say, I don't want to contribute, or I want to tell my husband, your fellow men. It can be from childhood trauma. It can be that she grew up in a home where a woman does not bring a penny. So that is her familiar. So she needs to break out of that familiar for her to now know that, oh, we are a team. So if my husband cannot bring, and I have, why not? I should bring. That's why we are one. So that can be a problem. It can also be that maybe while they were in Nigeria, she and her husband had some money problems. So this might just be like a revenge for her. For we women, our hearts are deep. Honestly, our hearts are deep. So it can be two ways. It's either she has her personal issues that she's responding like this because of those her personal issues, or maybe she's trying to revenge for something. They are just different dynamics to this thing. I really just hope that if there's anyone here that maybe is going through similar issues, please, let's not break out of the marriage. Marriage is very special to me because me too, I grew up in an environment where I didn't see anybody's marriage work. My parents did not even marry. And then the other women my father later married, the marriage to scatter, marry and that one to scatter, to marry. I grew up from that kind of background. So I do the work. I do the work, with my husband, just so that my children don't come out from broken homes. So if there's anybody here, I hold private sessions. Okay, I still hold webinars like this for different groups. But if you have a unique case that you don't want people to know about, you don't want people to hear, my WhatsApp number and my email is on that guide, but I'm still going to drop it on the comments section here. So you can reach out to me so that we can work. Marriage is very special to me. Let's work this thing out so that we don't have this. Is my email, and then this is my number. Please kindly reach out to me, okay? Because one thing I've come to realize in my line of work is that people wait for when their marriage is too damaged before they seek help. No, that is when it becomes a tug of war. Sometimes it now looks as if, oh, this therapist, she doesn't even know her work, or this counselor, because the two people, they are on two extreme ends. It makes the time for the work longer. Some people have been in therapy sessions now for over a year. They still keep getting guided supports because they have waited for the thing it has stretched so much. Maybe one person, maybe already living separately, to start working on them. Let's not get to that point. I've seen this time and time and time again. People wait till, and some people are even living in denial. There's nothing wrong with my marriage. That's all you hear people say. There's nothing wrong. You don't have to wait till when it gets wrong before you start seeking help. You are already seeing the signs. You see that you and your spouse are already living like roommates or flatmates. You have not touched your wife in weeks. Why will you not be having regular sex? Why? Somebody asks, is it food? Yes, it's food. Should I get it somewhere else? You don't want that. You know, some persons have not touched their wives, some have not. You have not, as a wife, you have not initiated sex. You are waiting for only when your husband comes and rub your laps. That's not how it should be. We shouldn't wait till it gets to that point. So when you start seeing these signs, you need to seek help. It doesn't mean that somebody's coming to give you a rule book of how your marriage should look. No, it's a guided support. We will work it out together. We would set up systems and structures to help you. You are the one that will find what is unique to your home. I'm not coming to show you, okay, you now do this, you now do that. Most of my clients that I've worked with, I will find out tools to help them. It is in sessions like this that they will find out on their own while we are together what I think this will work. They go home and try it and it works. I'm just here to give a guided support. So if you're having these signs already, maybe from what we've talked about, or what you can't even share yet, please, this is my email. You can send me an email, this is my company line. But for this purpose, let me drop my personal line here so that you can reach out to me personally. Sorry. This is my personal number. You are seeing these signs. Don't wait. Nobody should break marriage in this Ndigbo Estonia. I'm holding all of you like this. Nobody should break marriage. Marriage is a covenant. You have made that covenant with both your ancestors, both God in heaven, your parents, yourself, and your wife or your husband. Don't break it. There is always a possibility. There's always a way out. Okay? In my private sessions, we work deeply on breaking negative communication cycles, rebuilding emotional safety, resolving long-standing tension, all of these things. We can work all these things out. Okay, so you can reach out to me, please. Let's not get to the point where it is completely damaged. And please let us go through our guides. I'm going to send a guide and then everybody's going to receive it. Just download it. I'll send it via WhatsApp to somebody here, and then he's going to distribute it to everyone. It's not a rush something. Maybe before you sleep at night or in your quiet time, go through it. Be honest with yourself. Answer the question and know where your marriage stands. Know where the category your own falls into, and then we will take it up from there.
Please again, you said your husband is a pastor and you not even disclose the name of your church to us. And also if your church is also online so that members can also join from distance where they are living.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, so let me talk about this. So my husband is a pastor serving under Salvation Ministries. I'm sure you've heard Salvation Ministries before. Yes. My husband is a pastor serving under Salvation Ministries. But I have a community of pastors' wives. That is I don't just do therapy for them. I hold space for pastors' wives. If there's a pastor here, maybe you should ask your wife. Pastors' wives, we go through a lot. We go through a lot in the hands of members and unspoken rules. So my Instagram handle, my Instagram page, I used to do random so for couples generally, but I have narrowed it down to just ministers' wives. So if there's a pastor here, tell your wife to follow this page. I'm going to drop it here. Here, the ministers' wives circle. Yes, this is our Instagram page. You can go there and get guided support and all that. So I hold space for pastors' wives. So we don't have, I'm not Mommy G.O. Just in case you're thinking I'm not Mommy G.O. I'm not Mommy G.O., right? My husband is serving under Salvation Ministries. So, it's even a different, if there's a pastor here, you understand that serving under a ministry and then holding your own ministry. They are two different things. So
do we still have time to ask extra question?
All right. Let's see. Just a few minutes more. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, my question is about the monetary issue in
All right.
marriage. So for someone who has been supportive from the very first go,
Mm-hmm.
and you most times experience like betrayal, disappointment from your partner, and it has resulted to you being how will I even put it, not transparent again with your finances, let's just put it that way, due to the distrust, betrayal, and everything. How can you revert to being that transparent being because of the experiences that you've had with your partner in terms of finances?
Okay, so I have a question for you, first of all. The betrayal and disappointment you're talking about, is it monetary betrayal or another
Yes,
kind of betrayal?
it's just monetary.
Okay. Um, the first thing is not to just become transparent because they say you have to be transparent to your spouse. You don't just become transparent. This is where communication comes in. So you need to have an honest communication with your spouse. If that cannot work for both of you alone, then you will need guided support. But that communication has to happen. It has to happen. You need to have that communication with your husband. And I don't know if you have expressed your disappointment, because sometimes we just feel betrayed and disappointed and we just decide that, okay, if this is what you give me, then I'm not going to tell you again, without properly having a conversation, explaining the way you feel, the way that action made you feel, how betrayed you felt, how disappointed you are on that action. So you need to have that communication. At so times, this happened and I was disappointed. It didn't go down well. This is how I feel. Your communication has to be assertive. That's one mistake we make. Our communication is the other way around. No, it has to be assertive. So you have to own your feeling, not this is what you did. This is what you made me feel this. No, you felt it. One person is responsible for their actions. You are responsible for your feelings. So you need to have a conversation about this. And I need you to know that money, I said this earlier on, money is a tool. It's a means to an end. It's a tool to achieve every other thing. So let's give this a scenario. Let's say you are in a farmland, right? You are farming and you have hoe and you have a machete that you're using to maybe clear grass or take out weeds and all of that. So let's say that the farm belongs to you and your husband. That is where any crop that comes out from there is what your children will use to eat. And because your husband has done something, maybe he did not cultivate your own side. If you say you do this side, you do that side, you ask for help, he didn't do your own side, and then you are angry or you feel disappointed that he didn't help you, and then his hoe becomes broken and you have a spare. You know that that farmland is where everybody will eat from. Your children will eat from it. Are you going to not give him that instrument to work with because he did not do your own? You cannot carry the load alone. You cannot see, financial work is not for one person. It's always a teamwork. No matter how much, me personally, I don't subscribe to men that say their wives should not work. That's not nice. It is a teamwork. So for you, Madam Jane Swanky, have an honest conversation, having at the back of your mind that this thing, you cannot carry it alone. Okay? So have that honest conversation. Express your feelings assertively. Own it. This is how I felt when this happened. Talk to your spouse about it. And then gradually build on, the both of you should build on becoming transparent again. Trust me, it's not an overnight thing. I know that you cannot just wake up one day and say, I want to be transparent. but you need to have an honest conversation. I said earlier, if you cannot have that conversation alone, you feel like it's not going to work, then you would need a guided support to get that conversation passed across to your spouse. Hi,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Jane.
Thanks.
Okay. So I think we have come to the end of our meeting today. I hope to be back another time. We'll have a session like this.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you too.
And we
Thank
hope
you
to
too for
see you
having me.
next time.
Yes,
Sure.
so we need to have part two. Very, very insightful, very, very educative, very
Okay.
informative.
Okay, so this is what
We
is
need
going
part
to
two.
happen. Yes, this is what's
Thank you
going to
very
happen.
much.
Okay, tell us.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much.
This is what I would propose. If we are going to be having this kind of meetings, I don't want to make it cumbersome. I don't want to talk about different things all at once. So if our next meeting, we are going to be addressing sex, that day is only raw talk we will have. On the next meeting, we are going to be addressing
Yeah, so
these things
let's start
are
with
real
sex. Let's
talk.
start with sex. So
Yeah, they are
I
real.
agree.
See,
Let's start with sex.
in marriage, right? 90% of marriage is bedmatics. 10% is for God. Yes. Yes, because when a man keeps releasing what is in his waist very well, the tension will drop. I'm being very honest with you right now.
Yeah,
It's not even for fun. Yes.
you're right.
It is very, very, very important. And even in that sex talk, there's a part I want to handle with women alone. If they are willing.
Please, let it be okay like this for now. Let us have a round discussion with our friends. They will know when to host you again. Because if you keep on talking, you will not go today.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for having me once more. I really appreciate your time and your energy. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much, Jenny.
God bless
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Okay. Bye for now.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao, everyone.
Ciao.
Ciao. Bye-bye.